Charizard, one of the most popular Pokémons, known for being lazy and cutting Ash Ketchum's journey short in the Indigo League. In addition to being the most popular Pokémon of all time, he's also the cartoon character with the most potential for an epic, realistic redesign. Starting out as usual in Zbrush with a very questionable block count. Since I can't draw, I concept through sculpting, which is the cute way of saying I'm a Zbrush addict. At this stage, I have no idea where I'm going with this, so the most important part is just getting out some volume that I can use to explore the shape with before I mold it into proper anatomy. Now, Charizard, unlike other dragons, has this very human-like anatomy. Most dragons you see in movies are quadrupeds standing on all four, or wyverns, where the wings are kind of their arms. So this was gonna be a little bit different. And now, before everybody in the comment section tries to correct me, I know we already got a live-action Pokemon movie, but even though I enjoyed the movie and the designs of the Pokemon themselves were true to the original, they didn't exactly feel realistic. Listen, it's a kids movie, so I understand the direction they went. But seriously, one of the most badass, most iconic Pokemon of all time got butchered. Charizard looked more like a man in a Halloween costume, which isn't exactly the type of predator I was going for. I wanted the design to stand out from the generic dragon. Since Charizard stands on his feet, I'm thinking more dinosaur, specifically T-Rex or some kind of raptor. However, with some of the attacks of Charizard being Fire Punch, the baby arms doesn't feel very effective. So let's make sure that he has a strong upper body and arms long enough to actually hit his opponent. Now, sculpting a dragon is a challenge in itself. As a character artist working on a character that already exists, it's also your job to make sure that the character doesn't lose its essence through the style change. And you can go the AI route, which is basically slapping on some details on the existing design and call it a day. But come on, if you have eyes, there's no way you think this looks realistic. This is why we leave this job to a real artist, or at least give it to a fail artist on YouTube. I think what really makes Charizard, well, Charizard, is the bottom-heavy body shape. He's had a few too many Pikachus for dinner. But for these realistic redesigns, I wanted to somehow emphasize the monster part. I wanted a leaner, almost fatless creature to increase the monster part and make the design more intimidating. So I experimented a little bit, and narrowing down the collarbone and widening the hips gave us the illusion of the same body shape without making him chubby. By now, I was really starting to see this thing coming together. But we're far from done. It was time to add some more secondary shapes to break up the design before adding the surface details. A lot of newer artists fall into the trap of not sculpting enough secondary shapes before detailing, which makes the sculpt feel flat. Listen, I'm all for using alphas to detail a sculpt, but using alphas without sculpting proper secondary shapes like skin folds and irregularities is like throwing makeup on a troll. It's still gonna be a troll underneath. With the sexy part done, it was time to get technical, which basically means I stopped sculpting and started crying. The sculpt had millions of polygons, meaning outside Zbrush it was a ticking time bomb. 2 hours and 5 coffee mugs later, I finally had a low poly that didn't instantly melt my GPU. Finally, in Substance Painter, I gave him that signature orange tone, but less cartoon bright and more gloomy, dirty, and miserable. You know, like everything else in the real world. A little color variation, dirt, and some subtle roughness, and suddenly it looked alive. And there you have it. Thank you so much for sticking to the end. I want to make a live action Pokemon teaser in the future, so let me know what you liked or didn't like about the redesign. If you have some good suggestions, I'll make some updates to Charizard before that. If you liked the video, show some love by, well, liking the video. Until next time, stay safe, stay creative, peace.